Grand Rising Soul Fam. Today I decided I'm going to come on and share for 40 days of devotion more resources for the Gene Keys. And we are not in this Gene Key yet, but we will be next week. And as we move inch towards it, you may be able to see the little nuances of these Gene Keys about how they are all happening simultaneously while we add consciousness every 5 to 6 days to a different one. They're actually all happening together in this eternal now. So I wanted to share about Gene Key 22 today. This is the card from Dr. Rosy Aronson's deck, The Wisdom Keepers, the 64 Faces of Awakening. And this is the shadow of dishonor, the gift of graciousness, and the city or the divine expression of grace. Programming partner Gene Key 47, and it starts with a Richard Rudd quote that says, "Graciousness means that you act with grace and consideration in everything you do." My wisdom story. I was born into a well-respected family that cared a great deal about its reputation, but beneath the veneer, there was a terrible dysfunction. When my body began to change into a beautiful young woman's body, an admired family member abused me sexually. I felt too afraid and ashamed to tell anyone what was happening. Instead, I tried desperately not to feel. Whenever a forbidden feeling arose in my heart, I'd throw myself on the floor and pray that God would make me good and pious. Because I showed such unusual religious fervor for a young girl, I was sent to a secluded monastery to live a modest life of study and prayer. Relieved to be in a safe place, I gladly renounced all material things. I took a vow of celibacy and dedicated my life to selflessness. To all at the monastery, I was a proper, calm, and balanced woman, and a keen listener. But on the inside, I often seethed with inappropriate feelings that I couldn't bear to accept, much less express. I distrusted my pain, rejected my beauty, hated my needs, and judged my desires. I couldn't say no to requests for support, even when I was sick. I felt disgusted even the tiniest bit of passion, anger, or sexual feelings within me. One day, during a prayer group, a sister bravely shared about an experience of having been raped as a child. In the midst of her sharing, my body was hit by a tidal wave of memories, humiliation, and shame. Instead of looking up to God and praying for the feelings to go away, I buried my head in my hands and I sobbed. For the first time in my life, I shared about what had happened to me. I hid nothing from anyone, not even myself. As the pain, shame, and loneliness of my past erupted out of my throat, I felt a kind of light and love descend into my chest, one I'd never experienced in all of my days of prayer. And when I opened my eyes, I was met with such love, such compassion and respect that it felt like the entire cosmos was singing. Now I regard myself as deeply as I regard others. I no longer need to hide my beauty, dishonor my boundaries, or withhold my feelings to engage graciously with the world. My gift to you. I have come to tell you that there is nothing in you that's unworthy of love or of reverence. The very things you think you should hide or get rid of are exactly the things that need to be seen, felt, and expressed. So push nothing away. Transparency is the ultimate path towards grace. Be unwaveringly gracious towards every part of yourself, every feeling, every painful experience. By honoring all that's within you, you will experience the poetry and music of even the most agonizing moments. You will naturally find yourself being gracious towards others, touching their emotions, hearts, and souls with the milk of human kindness, and they will bloom in your presence. At your core, you are a gloriously unique manifestation of grace. So honor your suffering and you will discover your gift in the world. Questions for contemplation. Are there ways that you dishonor yourself or others? On the outside, do you appear kind, balanced, and a good listener, but inside do you feel angry, resentful, or full of forbidden desire? Have you ever held so much inside that you exploded? What were the consequences to yourself and to those around you? Think of a part of you, a feeling or experience that you reject as bad or inappropriate. How can you embrace it instead? And lastly, how can you bring more graciousness into